Well, I don't know what happened while I was away today, but welcome to Raoul's house. Well, today's Sunday and I've taken the day off very wisely, principally because I'm 62 now and I do have a dependent, and there's no point in me going down like a rock and having a heart attack, is there, by doing too much. So I've chilled out today and slept quite a bit as well. Saturday I was papering a wall for my buddy, and it was a weird wall, plywood. Never papered a plywood wall, and I know it hadn't been done in a number of years, but anyway, it's all done. If they want to, they can paint that now. But I was feeling it yesterday on my knees, going up and down the ladder. I wasn't going up many rungs, only 2, but you know, I'm feeling it on my knees, and I don't want to cripple myself for the week because I've got lots and lots that I still need to do. So I've kind of diverted myself to Monday, but I do have a plan of action. That's the main thing. Asbestos sheets, not the easiest thing to get rid of. Apparently you can saw them as long as you wet the board down and wear a mask. I didn't know that. Anyway, I've started to cut down this holly down here, and I'm going to stack them against the garage, leaning that way, until such times as I can get rid of them. The rest of these slabs will all go down on the floor here. It should easily fill that, which is what I want. I may even be a bit short, but I've got bricks under there that I can use as well, just to fill this whole thing up. Started breaking away the sides of this bed now. It's all rotten wood anyway, so I shall level that, just go over it with the slabs, and straight away get a fence in at the back, because this is no good, is it? And as soon as I've done that, I have noticed when I looked up there, right up there, over there, one of my neighbours got a load of blue bricks, and I don't think he wants them, but there will be enough for me to lay across the concrete floor and meet the other side. That'll provide a bit of a damp course, and I'm going to infill this with breeze block, because on Facebook Marketplace people are always giving away breeze blocks, or at least cheap. So I'll just go and pick them up, and gradually over the next couple of weeks I'll brick that all in. It won't have cost me much, and hopefully I can get a mini skip on here some point this week, and we can start filling it with stuff that I really can't get rid of, like these posts. I will break them up a bit, and a bit of soil out of the garden. The wood's alright, I can burn that, and we'll get rid of all this crap as well, and we'll have some semblance of normality. So that's my plan for Monday. Now, if you watched a previous video, a couple of videos back, I think, I bought a Sony MIDI system from Facebook Marketplace, because I wanted to be able to transfer material from cassette that was somewhat unique. Most stuff we record on cassette isn't. You can get a better recording now, but my father had a big pile of cassettes that I wanted to go through and double check that there's nothing on it that's really important. I'm certainly looking for recordings of my sister and I when we were toddlers, which he made on reel-to-reel, and he's kept over the years as far as I know, and the good chance is, as he got rid of reel-to-reel, that it probably ended up on cassette. So I've got hundreds of those to go through. I've also got a box of cassettes, because I also work in radio, believe it or not. I'm a DJ on River Gibbs FM, Sunday nights, 9 PM. But there were lots of shows that I recorded over the years as I was finding my feet in the business, if you like, and getting used to working on radio and behind the mic. So some of those cassettes I'd quite like to transfer over. My producer has kept most things, but there's always a chance there may be something in there that's unique from the early days of radio. But it leads me nicely onto this subject. This particular one is a Panasonic When my dad died, I inherited 3 of these. Nobody really seemed to want them, and you kind of wonder why. And all this sort of stuff ends up in landfill, and this works perfectly well. It's a Panasonic. Right at the bottom you've got the CD player, then you've got a mini disc, and then you've got your display and your FM tuner, and right on top you've got a cassette deck. And the cassette deck mechanism is not bad. It's not the most exciting eject mechanism. It certainly plays cassettes very well. And I suppose the reason that people get rid of them is because they've all got used to MP3s. They're listening to the music on their phones. And that's how things have evolved, you know. We went from big hi-fi separates and music systems to MIDI systems, and ultimately the mini system. And this was the last of the great hi-fis. But its drawback, I suppose, is the fact that you can't play MP3s on it. It has no Bluetooth facility, all the things that we've grown used to. But you can, in fact, buy MP3 decoder panels, and providing you can find somewhere on the stereo to mount it in the case, these mini systems are perfectly capable of playing back MP3s and via your phone. And why not? That seems a good use of old technology. So in a future Rail Sounds video, I'll show you how to convert one of these, or I may even do the Sony as well. There's not masses of knowledge needed, but you do need a multimeter to be able to find a suitable voltage somewhere inside. It's either 5 or 12 volt to run these MP3 decoder boards, but not beyond the realm of the average hobbyist. Let's put it that way. I've been dodging the rain. Not a lot of choice really. I've only got one more section to go now, and then that's it. So I've got to angle grind the bolts on the asbestos roof. So gently slide those down, unbolt this supporting structure across the top, remove that carefully, make sure I don't drop it on my camper, then tap these posts forward, take out the next 4 panels, and that's it, we're done. And just end up with this. Not sure what I'm going to do with the posts. Might be able to use them, I don't know, to drive on. I haven't figured it out yet until I get all this area clear and can see what I can and can't use. Amazingly, this netting is holding up. It staggered me. Anyway, I've got plenty of slabs, and I've got another 8 that are coming down, so that should be enough to level that part of the garden up. And if I'm short, I've got some extra bricks underneath there. There's a big slate there, it's behind the slabs, but horizontal slate, stood up on bricks. I think my father used it for potting, or I don't know, mixing his compost with, something like that, but I shan't need that, so that's going. And the asbestos sheets, like I said, I'm going to stack all of them there. I've got another 2 over there to move. I should do them tomorrow when I've got a quiet moment. And this up and over door, I'm going to measure the width of the door on this concrete shed, or it will be a shed, work out the width of the door and cut that off this, and I shall face my door with that. I should just wire brush all the paint off it and give it a coat of paint, and that'll yeah, it'll semi-reinforce it rather than having a wooden door. So that's where we are. Unfortunately, in the week I've got a splinter in the end of my finger, which I managed to get out with side cutters, and also stood on a nail today. That was nice. So I have had a tetanus within living memory, so I'm sure I'll heal. I'll just be a bit sore for a week or 2. So yeah, that's it. So I'm not going to cut much more back on that holly, because, you know, I don't want to encourage anybody to go down that side, so we'll leave that as it is. And we'll be able to clear all of this stuff. And before I finish today, I'm going to cart this wood down the end of the garden, and we'll call it a day for today. So this is Tuesday, by the way, so I didn't get anything done Monday because I was still very achy. And if you get trouble with your knees, damp weather makes it worse. It's to do with high and low pressure, and they ache a bit at the moment, but just going steady at it. Anyway, I shall do that. I shall get the rest of the wood down there, and then I shall lock up, and then I'll call it a day for today. Yeah, when you're looking on fish cam, Ralph Satt's fish cam, that's fish cam. And there's the fish. And they've been fed today. I noticed them all hunting across the top of the water, so I thought maybe they might be a bit hungry. And I've moved the irises a little higher, and they're sitting on a shelf because I think they'll actually do better there. It seems quite secure on there. And in the bottom I've got my water lilies, which I've hacked back this year, and I've already noticed green shoots. So before we know it, come the summer, this whole pond will be full of lily pads again. Might even see a few frogs. Yeah, we're out in the car, and two jobs we've got to do this morning. One is I've got to run in my son, who sat next to me, yep, saying yep, yep, and not much else. Yep. Because I've got to run him into college. But more importantly for me, perhaps, I've got to go to Toolstation, and the reason I've got to go to Toolstation is because I've demolished that garage, and there'll be a pressing need to put in a fence at the end, and I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that. Now this road's bumpy, apologies for the jumpy camera. Yeah, there'll be a pressing need to put a fence in at the end of the garden, and I don't know how many met posts I'll need, but they're about £8 each, so I just thought, right, we'll get 3, that should be enough to get us across the bottom. So and as I mentioned earlier in the video, I unfortunately stood on a nail, which was a bit of a foolish thing to do. So I've been hobbling around, particularly last night when we went shopping.
Cleaned it out, of course.
Yeah, I got in the shower. Well, you can't clean out a hole made by a nail, well, but actually it feels a little better this morning, but I have taken some ibuprofen, so that's probably why it feels better. And I have had a tetanus in living memory. Anyway, I think today's going to be wet again, so I'm going to have to dodge the rain, but my plan was to get my circular saw out in the garden and start cutting up all that scrap wood, so I can have a bonfire at some point in the week. While it's wet, people haven't got the washing out, so it's a good time to do it, and it's all dry wood. And some of the fence panels I can reuse for my front fence. I'm not particular about having shiny new wood, well, not shiny, but new wood, so I can reuse the old fence panels, and it'll all sort of blend in. The only thing I've got to do is replace the Harris rails on it. Yeah, it's not often we get a drive out of Ralph's house, is it really? No. Well, we do, but we don't always film it. Yeah. And we are today. Bit of variety. Out on the road with Ralph's house.
Does that say clown or does that say down? Driving clown, cost of consumables.
Yeah, it could be, couldn't it? Driving clown, cost of consumables.
Oh my God.
I always think that's a terrible name for a removable company, look.
Yeah.
Caca Remove.
It's also another word for...
Yeah, well, CAC is, yeah. CAC Removal Services. Sorry, no insult to Caca Removals, but honestly, you could have come up with a better name. Well, if it's an average speed check, I can tell you the average speed is 18 miles an hour. So I don't think we've got much to worry about there. She's never going to make it. I wonder where he's going. Well, he couldn't wait, could he? Go down the bloody curb. Well done, you. And another. Cops would have you for that. Absolutely they would.
Just you.
When I was a kid, I was always fascinated by this bridge. It's all sort of part of Holbrooks. Up here on the left, where that beige building is.
Got paid.
Yeah, there used to be a joke shop there. I used to go up there every Saturday and look through the window because I never had any money. My dad didn't give us a lot of pocket money, let's put it that way. I think it was something like 20 pence a week. It was about that. It wasn't a lot. But I suppose then you've got to look at that. For inflation, what would 20p be worth now? It's probably £3 or something.
Oh no, all I know is that Frodo's an outlet £1.
Yeah. This will date this video because there's a bit of price of fuel. This is May 2021. Unleaded on £1.21. Actually, it's crept up, hasn't it? It dropped to 99p during lockdown. It's great. You could fill up. You couldn't go anywhere. That's why it was so cheap. This is the part of the old Courtals. It used to be a big textile business, Courtals. And certainly in the 70s, you know, a lot of young lads coming out of school would end up working here as tool fitters. So anyway, this is, well, it is when we turn this corner. It will be Toolstation, Foleshill, Coventry. They're a nice bunch actually, and they don't get credit really for all the work they do. They're here early in the morning, and they're having to sort out online orders. Actually, ordering online is good because you get a kind of priority with it. And everybody else is queuing and going through the catalogue and saying, well, I don't know if I want those nuts, or I don't know. Well, if you just order it all online, you know what you want. You go to their online order counter and you're in and out of there like a ferret.
Like a ferret?
Yeah.
Not ferret.
So they've kept the old Courtals factory, or some of it. This is an awkward junction, this. You have to wait for a gap in the traffic. Yeah, they've kept the old factory and then kind of made a new use for it, really. There's a chimney down there. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, probably not. But it's a stunted chimney. It's now used as a sort of telecommunications mast. So, yeah, here we are at Toolstation for met posts. Let's just see how busy the car park is. Fairly busy.
Lovely view of the hedge.
It left me a lot of room there. Right, we'll go and get met posts. No, it's not Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor and Debbie Reynolds. It's a met post. Not as exciting. And not as light on its feet. Anyway, I've got 3 of those from Toolstation. That's where we went. Also got in the post an SSD drive. And if you don't know what they are, it's a solid state drive rather than a mechanical hard drive. Much, much faster and far more reliable in my view. I love them. Got one myself. Fitting that in my friend Mike's computer because his had started to slow down. He said it was gradually getting worse. When I came to actually test it, I ran tests overnight. It was full of bad sectors, so that drive is definitely defunct. Hasn't even got a second life. Scrap. And finally, a box of pond lights. Colour changing pond lights. I've got 5 of those, so hopefully we can get that set up later today. It runs on solar, so I think the sooner I get some charge into the solar, the better, even if I don't connect them up straight away. So I shall do that. I shall put those out the back, try and capture what little sunlight we've got today. There you go. Just fed the fish. And solar panel for the pond lights. You see there's one there, and another one there, another one there, a couple more. Anyway, there's 5 in there. We'll see what they look like later. Might have to swing these lights around a bit so they're not pointing at the sky, but the main thing is to get them charged up today. and then we'll have a look in the evening. That'd be rather nice on pond cam in the dark, don't you think? Look, they're hungry, look. Check them out. Yeah, fill your boots. It'll be good from tomorrow because I've ordered some bloodworms and some other stuff. Just vary their diet a bit so they're not eating flakes all the time. Yeah, there's the pond. A different view. Well, that's it. That's where I stop, that line. So, just getting these out now. Look, a couple of nuts holding those on. Got some bolts bited right through the post. Then we can pull those posts down. Start taking these panels out. And then also it's got these strengtheners bolted onto these tags at the end. Some cases I've had to angle grind them, but most of the time I've been able to unbolt them, which has been pretty good. My solar panels are looking a bit mucky, they need a good clean, but at least now they're seeing the sun, which is charging up my batteries inside my camper. That's the main thing, keep them fully charged. And when I come to start it, it'll start alright. Yeah, and then a really good wash and a T-cut, I think, bring it back up to scratch. Yeah, I fitted all these, a couple of 100 watts on the roof. And in the summer it's quite nice because if the camper gets hot inside, you put a 12 volt fan on, the hotter it gets, or the brighter it gets, the faster the fans go. So that worked out really well. So I'm going to have to find some way to edge this, because if I brick up to it. So Mike, my stepfather, said you can cut asbestos, so I'll look at that and see if I can cut a piece just to slip under like the previous ones did, and that'll provide it at least some rain cover, and also scrape all this moss off which is built up over the years. That won't help with runoff, will it? So we'll do that, and perhaps have to use a little bit of bleach just to kill what's left. But yeah, certainly scrape that off. Perhaps make it a little bit tidier. But yeah, we're pretty close, so I'll press on. I'm going to unbolt both ends of this now because it's all free, and then lift this off and put it with the rest of the scrap in the garden. Yeah, I've got that one loose now and unbolted it from there and here. I'm kind of dodging the rain now, but I want to try and get as much lonely snail up there. I want to try and dodge the rain and get as much as I can done today. I can kick these posts down. Well, I say kick them, tap them down with a lump hammer, and then maybe start undoing some of these. I think I've already got the nuts out of one of them, I forget which, and then it stops at that post there. Of course, I'll only have it 2 bays wide, and chances are I may move this at a later date, site it in a better position, but for now it will do, and at least it'll be dry and I can get all my tools put away in that. Like I was saying, do need to scrape that roof though. Right, press on. There we go. Apart from those little clamps, they're only sliding. And right, we'll pull down that post next. Well, that's it as far as the garage is concerned. Now down to 2 bays, which is what I wanted. I've just got one more slab to take out, and that's it. We are finished as far as that. I don't have to take it back any further. The only thing you've got to watch though is if you do this and shorten the garage, these bolts which hold on these panels also hold on the ones the other side and the post to them. So you've got to reinstate those and tighten all those up again. But yeah, that's it. That's perfectly usable. Needs a good wash out now and get all these cobwebs off and stuff. But I think if I brick, I shall brick up to, well, either up to here or on the face of it. Maybe the face of it would make more sense. Yeah, brick onto the face of it. I'll just find a way to tie that in. Might be able to put in longer bolts and put them through that post and whatever I've got this side with spreader washers. I don't know. Think about it when I come to it. Anyway, it's not going to fall down as long as I put all these bolts back. So, yeah, just one more slab to wriggle out. They're a bit harder because it's got like a little concrete plinth. Well, it's not a plinth, it's just cement against it. So I'll just break that up and then this slab will come out. So, that's it on the garage, at least on the demolition. Tomorrow, good sort out, make good use of these slabs. Dig this out, move the rest of this timber, clear all these rocks that side, cut this down because it wants cutting down, that's why. It's just got old and woody. If I want something I'll put it in a pot. Yeah, so really a good clean up. And by the magic of video, do you remember those pond lights? Magic of video. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.